Welcome, kings and queens, to the Black Bookshelf podcast, where we discuss black books created by black authors. I'm your host, Nick Walker. Shout out to everybody that's already supporting the podcast. Shout out to everybody that hit me up saying this is a good idea, this is a good venture. I want to read more. You're inspiring us to open up some books. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of the love, and I'm gonna be dropping every week. I'm gonna be dropping consistent. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to build a family. And if you want to be a part of that family, a booktube, black books, subscribe below. Like, comment, share. Yeah, and we can all be one big family, one big community, reading books, growing, and sharing books and information. So today, got a very special book that just came out in 2024, created by one of my favorite rappers, Common. Um, Amazing musician, amazing rapper, amazing talent. He's already has one New York bestseller, and I'm sure this one will be too. This is called Common, and then we rise, and then we rise is a play on the title, a play on Maya Angelou's famous poem "And Still I Rise," which Common mentions a lot. He had a good working relationship. He had, well, not working relationship. He had a good relationship period with Maya Angelou before she passed, and yeah, you could tell by this book he's heavily inspired by her. And This book is amazingly written. It's an easy read, 200 pages. Self improvement book. It's a self improvement book. It's a guide to loving and taking care of self. And usually I'm not a big fan of self-improvement books. I feel like sometimes they come off too preachy, but this one didn't. It was a really good read, a solid read, and he was very open in this book. It's a practical guide to wellness through food, body, mind, and soul. So the book is broken down, and this is where I read that from. Self-love book is broken down into four parts, 50 pages each, roughly, approximately. And it's broken down into food, body, mind, and soul. The food we eat affects our body. How our body feels affects our mind, and how our mind feels, our thoughts, anxiety, pressure, all of those things affect our soul. Common was very open in his book about talking about his personal experiences from each of these standpoints. He started off the book talking about the food that he ate. He talked about his past, the food he used to eat. It was bad food. It was fast food. It was greasy food. It was fried food. And he talks about how black people as a whole, we have these genetic predispositions to these comorbidities, such as hypertension, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. And he talks about how we grew up eating and the fast food, and how those things really aren't that good for us, and then how we need to incorporate more greenery. And I thought that was really dope, especially for me right now, because I'm in that phase of I'm finna turn 35. I'm really trying to improve my health through the food that I'm eating. And I think it's very important to kind of be in spaces where people are trying to do the same thing, or to even read a book where the author is speaking about that. Common talked about how he starts every morning green with a green juice. This book contains a couple juicing recipes in it, which I thought was really dope, because some everything's accessible these days. But if you're a big fan of Common, you might want to drink the same juice that he drinks, or whatever. He also talked about in this particular chapter, the food chapter, of how important it is to find green food or vegetarian food that we like. And so Common, he's converted to veganism, and I thought that was dope too, because me personally, I've been doing vegan for 2 days out of the week, and sometimes it is tough trying to find something to eat, but Common also has vegan recipes in here created by his chef, who he has a really good relationship with. And he talked about how important it is to have that relationship with whoever is creating your vegan food, because they will make it with love and they will make it enjoyable for you to eat. And I think that's amazing, because like I was previously stating, a lot of vegan food, it can be kind of plain, but now we've been forced to create great dishes from all types of sources, from YouTube to TikTok to Instagram, where they got all these chefs and stuff. And I think it's really dope that he's telling his fans to, put down the fried chicken. He ain't saying don't eat it ever. He's saying don't eat it all the time. Eat it minimally. And that the dope thing about this book, like I said, it's not preachy. It's not preachy, but it's got really good information in here. Um, the next part of the book was the body. Common talked about how important it is to maintain his stature and his endurance when performing in concert, when creating music, as well as in his acting ventures. He talked about the importance of how important it is to be in shape to be able to speak when he's doing his lines. And also in live theater. Common has been doing live theater, so he talked about how important that was. And to connect the dots, the food that we eat directly affects our body. And so he also talked about how important it was to have a personal trainer or a doctor that and a doctor that we really have a good relationship with. He really broke down the fact that when you go to the doctor, you need to go to a primary physician at least every 6 months to a year. And also how important it is to have that really good relationship with that doctor, to where you feel comfortable asking him questions and being open and honest and telling them how you feel. And also how important it is to write down your questions that you want to ask to the doctor, so you can be specific and tell the doctor what you're feeling. I thought that was really dope, because working in the healthcare system myself, I think it's very important to ask us the right questions as a patient. Um, his relationship with his personal trainer, he talked about how that relationship is very important, because everybody, if you're starting to work out, if you're starting to get to a point where you're trying to get your body developed and have more endurance, um, you gotta be working with a personal trainer that knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses, knows your dislikes, knows your likes. And so it's great to have that relationship. And he talks about that relationship. He also has a workout plan in this book, which I thought was dope, because he giving you his specific workout plan. He's sharing his personal information. Um, and so the next part of the book, he talked about the mind and how your food that you eat, how your body feels directly affects your mind. Okay. So your mind, he talked about how important it was to have a therapist if you're not okay. And me personally, I've also been to therapy before, and I think it really has some positive benefits. He discussed why he went to therapy, about how he was dealing with relationships, dealing with friendships, dealing with anxiety from being overworked and things of that nature. And I thought he was very open in discussing these things. He talked about how also it is important to have that really good relationship with your therapist, where you could contact them almost any time that they're available, to be able to ask them questions, to be able to fill out your emotions, to be able to open up to someone. And you got that patient client relationship where it's only there with them. I thought that was really dope because a lot of black males, especially a lot of celebrity black males, they're not open and honest about, okay, I might not be in the mental health space or I need to see a therapist and this like that. So I thought that was really dope. And he also put in here some breathing techniques for anxiety, and because breathing, it helps serotonin levels, it helps endorphins, it it loosens your body up. It releases your muscles. So I thought that was really dope, man. Common really was in his bag with this book. You know, he put his soul into it, and he provided professionals with their expertise from this book. So I thought that was really dope. In the last section, he talks about how the food he eats, how his body is maintained, how it improves his mental thoughts, and how all of that improves your soul. So in that section, Common is very open about how his relationship with God has improved, how he wakes up every day, he meditates, then he prays. And I thought that was dope, and it influenced me. I wake up now, I meditate, then I pray, and he also talked about just being gracious, showing gratitude. Um, that connection between food, body, and mind. You need all of those things to work interaction to have that rich spirit, that calm spirit, and when you have that rich spirit and that calm spirit, you can really talk to God, man. I really believe that. Like you can really talk to God when you feeling at one with yourself. And I think I think feeling at one with yourself is something that you're gonna continuously, try to reach. But I think if you really focus on doing these things and your personal self care at 24/7, I know we got a lot of things going on, but self care, we can't take care of nobody else if we not taking care of ourselves, and we can't love other people how they supposed to be loved if we not loving ourselves. And I think Common really got his point across in this book. This book was written in four parts, just like as I mentioned before. And his main inspiration in this book was Coltrane and A Love Supreme, which is one of my favorite vinyls. Oh, well, vinyl records. And in A Love Supreme, Coltrane was expressing his his spiritual enlightenment within jazz. And in this book, Common and Then We Rise, Common is expressing his spiritual enlightenment through writing. And he definitely dropped a blessing. And I'm very gracious for this book. I get this book a 5 out of 5. And like I said, I don't really like self-improvement books, but this one really touched home. I really related to him in this one. So yeah, we're gonna close this book review down. Check out Common and Then We Rise. If you like what you see today, subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, we out. Peace.